So yesterday, I did a tier ranking of the best WWE premium live events slash pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them. And I said I'd do AEW now. Now, granted, AEW has only had 5 pay-per-views this year in 2022. Like I said, I'm not counting any Ring of Honor stuff. I'll talk about Ring of Honor at the end of this video because there is some stuff from Ring of Honor I enjoyed. So like I said, we have the rankings. The way I look at it is the best, pretty good, okay, and garbage. And so far, there hasn't been any garbage pay-per-views this year, in my opinion. WWE had a lot of pay-per-views. If you want to see how that look, go check out my WWE tier list from the other day. But anyway, first up for AEW, we have AEW Revolution 2022. And we had Leia Hirsch versus Chris Statlander, Hook versus QT Marshall. I think this was on the buy-in, most of these. The House of Black, Malachi Black, Brody King, and Buddy Matthews go against Pac, Penta Oscuro, and Eric Redbeard, because this is when Ray Phoenix had a dislocated arm, I believe. Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho, the beginning of the Blackpool Combat Club versus the JAS. Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus as the tag team champions at that time, going against Redragon, or Red Dragon, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, the Young Bucks, of course Matt and Nick Jackson in a triple threat tag team match, Wardlow, Christian Cage, Keith Lee, Orange Cassidy, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks in a Face the Revolution ladder match for a future shot at an AEW TNT Championship. Jade Cargill, versus Ty Conte. CM Punk versus MJF in a dog collar match. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship. John Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. Oh my god, there's so many matches. Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sting versus the Andrade Hardy family office. Oh my god, they were a thing. Which was Andrade El Idolo, Matt Hardy, and Isaiah Cassidy. And then finally, Hangman Adam Page versus Adam Cole Bebe for the AEW World Championship. Oh my god, 12 matches if you include that buy-in show. Anyway, AEW Revolution 2022. Let's try to go through these matches one by one. I don't remember the Chris Statlander one. Hook and QT Marshall. Of course, Hook squash match. 5 minutes. Deserves it. QT Marshall just needs to stay a trainer. House of Black versus Penta, Pac, and Eric Redbeard was really good. Eddie Kingston versus Jericho. And Kingston beat Jericho by submission. Was also good. Like I said, this was the beginning of the JAS versus Blackpool Combat Club. Jurassic Express, boy, these guys really got the shaft this year. They beat Red Dragon and the Young Bucks. This was a really good match too, if I recall. But Red Dragon ain't there anymore. I should say Bobby Fish isn't in AEW anymore, and Kyle O'Reilly's out with injury, and sadly Adam Cole's out with injury. I thought this match was great too. The Face the Revolution ladder match, Wardlow winning. That was the right choice. A lot of people would have said Keith Lee or Powerhouse Hobbs. The only one I would have said out of that match should have been Ricky Starks, but Wardlow was the right choice. The problem is his momentum fell right after that. Jade Cargill and Ty Conte was a squash match, basically. All Jade Cargill's matches are pretty much this. It was okay. Jade Cargill makes match of the night, probably the dog collar match between CM Punk and MJF. This match was phenomenal. The whole Wardlow face turn coming out, giving the diamond ring accidentally to Punk because he said it was in the wrong pocket. And this match was great. This is probably one of the best matches of the year too. And that's saying something too, because we'll get up to a certain thing involving CM Punk later. Britt Baker beating Thunder Rosa. This one made no sense to me because it was like a week later they gave Thunder Rosa the title because of her hometown, I guess. But this is where Thunder Rosa should have gotten the title. But hey, it was a good match nonetheless. Another great match. Moxley, Danielson. This is where I believe William Regal debuted, right? He came out and slapped both men and be like, "Oh, kiss and make up. You guys got to get together." Yeah. Yeah, this was like I said, the beginning of the Blackpool Combat Club and the JAS going at it. Darby, Sammy, and Sting. I'm sorry, the Matt Hardy, Andrade El Idolo house thing. Eh. And then Adam Cole and Hangman Page. They had like a in my opinion, a hidden gem of a match, a real hidden gem. So, in my opinion, AEW Revolution 2022. I'm on a tier list that has every AEW pay-per-view up until Full Gear 2022, but Revolution 2022 was pretty good. Correction, it was the best. It's one of the best pay-per-views that year. Punk coming out in his Ring of Honor gear with his Ring of Honor song because MJF came out with the "Look in my eyes, what do you see?" Like he stole that pop. Again, I thought dog collar match was really good. I thought Wardlow winning was the right choice besides maybe Ricky Starks. There were some booking things, like I said. Britt Baker going over Thunder Rosa just to give Thunder Rosa the championship a week later was weird. And then, yeah. Revolution was, yeah, I'll leave it at the best because that dog collar match and the ladder match was really good. So now we have AEW Double or Nothing 2022. And there are 13 matches on this card. We had I'm still scrolling, sorry. Hook Housing, remember that was a thing. This was on a buy-in, I believe. That's Hook and Dan Housing going against Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling. Wardlow against MJF. We'll get to that match, don't worry. The Hardy Boys against the Young Bucks. My God, the Hardys were a thing this year. Jade Cargill against Anna Jay. The House of Black against the real Death Triangle. That is Pac, Penta Oscuro, and Rey Fenix. They actually got Rey Fenix back for this. Adam Cole and Samoa Joe for the Men's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finale. Dr. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho for the Women's Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Finale. 6-person mixed tag team match. American Top Team with Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, Paige Van Sant going against Frankie Kazarian, Sammy Guevara, and Ty Conti. And then a kind of like a hidden gem, but really should have been on Dynamite. Kyle O'Reilly against Darby Allin. Thunder Rosa against Serena Deeb for the AEW World Championship. The Jericho Appreciation Society versus the Blackpool Combat Club. Anarchy in the Arena. Blackpool Combat Club also had Eddie Kingston and Santana and Ortiz, so this was only when it had Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley with them. And the Jericho Appreciation Society had Jericho, Daniel Garcia, Jake Hagar, Angelo Parker, and Matt Menard. 3-way tag team match for the AEW Championship. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus going against Swerve in Our Glory. And Team Taz of Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Stark. Swerve in Our Glory features Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Then last but not least for the AEW World Championship, CM Punk versus Hangman Adam Page. Okay. Wardlow beating MJF. That was that was booked perfectly. It was a squash match, 7.5 minutes. If the rumor was true that MJF skipped out on a, what do you call their fan sighting, and then he was trying to get on an airplane. Like I said, I don't believe anything backstage about MJF. Sorry. But if it was true, he did that. That's kind of a dick move. But the stipulation was too, if Wardlow lost this match, he would be permanently banned from AEW. but if he won, he becomes a member of AEW. Hardys versus the Young Bucks was really good. It's crazy that these guys had a match in like Ring of Honor for like a ladder match, and then they had another great match, and it's kind of crazy the Hardys went over on the Young Bucks. And that was a really good match. That was really, really fun. I think Jeff messed up on something at one point, if I recall. Jade Cargill, Anna Jay, squash match. Jade Cargill wins. You got to get that title off of Jade Cargill. I'm sorry. Get her off that TV. I know she named it the Bitch Show Championship, but you got to get that championship off of her. She's doing nothing for it right now. The only thing Jade Cargill is doing is making a win streak, and whoever gets that win streak broken, you better choose rightly, because if it's some established person that beats her, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fan backlash. You better have some really good up and comer or something to it. House of Black versus Death Triangle. These guys always put on a great match. Death Triangle, in my opinion, might be my six-man person tag team of the year. They've been putting on phenomenal matches. Adam Cole and Samoa Joe was a short, sweet match. Once Adam Cole won this match, you pretty much guaranteed Britt Baker was winning the next one. This was supposed to be, in my opinion, again, Britt Baker beats Ruby Soho for the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Cup. They got these cool little pink belts. But yeah, once Adam Cole won that and he lost at Revolution, and Britt Baker lost her title, you knew for a fact those two were winning this. It was their make good thing. American Top Team, and if American Top Team won, neither Kazarian or Guevara were able to challenge for the TNT Championship during the rest of Scorpio Sky's run as champion. Holy crap, Scorpio Sky was champion this year. Oh man, poor Ethan Page. We'll talk more about that at the end. Again, Kyle O'Reilly, Darby Allin is like a hidden gem. Should have been on what do you call there? Dynamite instead of a pay-per-view. It was only 9 minutes and 50 seconds, just a little under 10 minutes. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, it was okay. Thunder Rosa's title reign was very lackluster, in my opinion. Poor thing. She gets booked poorly. Probably the match of the night, Anarchy in the Arena. The Jericho Appreciation Society. They won by technical submission. I believe this is when Bryan Danielson, I think he passed out or he tapped out. It's one of those. Yeah, it was one of those things, and this was the beginning of a very long feud. And again, another hidden gem, the Team Taz against Swerve in Our Glory and Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for the tag team champions. Great. And CM Punk defeated Hangman Page. A lot of people question why would CM Punk win the championship. He was the biggest draw at that time, and he was, it was kind of foregone scene conclusion. And yeah, so AEW Double or Nothing. I believe I need to make a rearrangement here. Revolution was actually just pretty good. Double or Nothing was also pretty good. These two were just pretty good. I'm gonna get a lot of flack for that because yeah, it's AEW and AEW fans are so hardcore. But remember, this is just my opinion. If you don't agree with it, I'm sorry. But I'm not saying the car was bad. I'll get into the reason why. I just put them at pretty good at the end of the video, and I might just rearrange them again. But oh man, that dog collar match though. By Anarchy in the Arena, and this one, in my opinion, had a lot more better matches. This had some great matches, but some of it was just. Okay, so now we're on AEW Cross New Japan Forbidden Door. Basically, we had 13 matches on the card if you include the pre-show, I believe. And I'm just going to do this. Forbidden Door was the AEW's best pay-per-view show of the year. Why? Because it was a super show. Granted, there was really no storylines to it, and the build to it was friggin' terrible. Like, there was barely any New Japan guys making a build to it, and it was just awful. the build, but the show was amazing. I loved everything about this show. The tag team match on the card, the pre-show, I should say, the 8-man tag on the pre-show was fun. Um, the 6-man tag match between Minoru Suzuki and the Sex Gods, aka Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, against Eddie Kingston, Shota Uma, and Wheeler Yuta, and the winning team gets the advantage in Blood and Guts, which I wish I could rank Blood and Guts on here, but that's not a pay-per-view. They should just make Blood and Guts a pay-per-view, but then again, I kind of like it on free TV. And then winner-take-all triple threat tag team match for the Ring of Honor Championship and IWGP title. FTR, Cash Wheeler, Dax Harwood defeated United Empire, Great O'Khan, Jeff Cobbs, and the IWGP Championship, or champions, I have no idea how to pronounce that, Rocky Romero and Trent Beretta. I'm sorry, Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb were the IWGP champions. And then Pac defeated Clark Connors, Miro, and Malachi Black for the inaugural AEW All-Atlantic Championship, hidden gem. In my opinion, this should have been Malachi's title, or Miro, actually. Miro or Malachi, but Pac is okay. Let me rephrase that. Pac is phenomenal. He's great, but I don't think he deserved this championship, in my opinion. Dudes with Attitude, aka Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo Takagi, against Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, the reunited Bullet Club for the first time in a long time. That was incredible. They came out to the music and everything. Thunder Rosa defeated Tony Storm, and Tony Storm would go on later to become the AEW interim women's champion, and have the shortest women's championship title reign at 77 days, sadly. And then, well, my match of the night, and probably a lot of other people's, Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. This match was incredible. This match was insane. Like, people don't give Orange Cassidy enough credit. I get it, he's a joke wrestler, but the thing is, Orange Cassidy is also really good at what he does. Will Ospreay is phenomenal at what he does, and yeah, it's just this match was just incredible. Another great match was Zack Sabres Jr. against a partner of Bryan Daniels' choosing, because Bryan Daniels was out for their injury. So it was Claudio Castagnoli, the newest member of the Blackpool Combat Club. Another great match. Fantastic match. These two put on one hell of a match. Jay White defeating Adam Cole, Kazuchika Okada, and Hangman Adam Page for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Another great match. Sadly, this is where Adam Cole got his horrible concussion. Jay White winning, retaining. During the media scrum, Jay White was great. He's like the perfect, like, asshole champion. But I'll get more to the media scrums in a bit. And then Jon Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW World Championship, because CM Punk was injured. Another good match. Fantastic. Forbidden Door 2022, without a doubt, AEW's best show of the year. I mentioned that WWE's Clash at the Castle was the best show all around, in my opinion. Forbidden Door is the second best all around, no matter what. That's just my opinion. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But if you agree with me, that's great. If you don't, that's also great. Like, tell me in the comments below why you don't agree with me. Tell me in the comments. I love talking about wrestling. Like, people don't realize that I am a huge fan of AEW and WWE, and I try to watch as much wrestling as I can, but there's not enough time in the world. Oh boy, here we go to the controversial one. AEW All Out 2022. 15 matches were contested. 4 on the 0 hour pre-show. So 11 on the show. On the pre-show, we had Sammy Guevara and Ty Mello against Ortiz and Ruby Soho for the mixed tag team AAA World Championship. Hook, who is now officially the new FTW champion, deserves it, even though beat Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. Well, Matt Menard at ringside. I love those guys. Angelo Parker, Matt Menard, they're amazing. I love them. Pac defeated Kip Sabian for the All Atlantic Championship, and Eddie Kingston defeated Tomohiro Ishii. That was such a hard hitting match. This was because Eddie Kingston pie faced Sammy Guevara, so they had to change those matches up. And then the Casino Ladder match featuring Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Penta El Zero, he used his full name, Ray Phoenix, Andrade El Idolo, and Dante Martin with a secret Joker coming out at the end. Well, spoilers. It was MJF with the help of the Firm winning that match. And then another great match. Probably the best trios match. Oh man, this one was so emotional too. This was incredible. The Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Nick Jackson that is, going up against the Dark Order with Hangman Page, Alex Reynolds, and John Silva. And then, of course, the TBS Championship, Jade Cargill going against Athena. Always a squash match with her. Wardlow with FTR going against Jay Lethal, the Motor City Machine Guns. It was so cool seeing the Machine Guns back. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, and Powerhouse Hobbs against Ricky Starks. It was another squash match. Probably the match of the night for everybody. Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, and Swerve Strickland against the acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, Scissor Me Daddy Ass. And then a fatal four-way match for the interim AEW World Championship. Tony Storm defeated Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, Jamie Hayter, and Hikaru Shida. Jamie Hayter should have won this one, but Tony Storm winning wasn't bad either. Another lovely squash match between Christian Cage and Jungle Boy. It was only 20 seconds long. Jericho versus Bryan Danielson was a great match. Darby Allin and Sting and Miro defeated the House of Black in a 6-man tag, which was fun. And CM Punk and Jon Moxley, and at the end, revealed that MJF was the Joker. For some reason, to me, All Out was just so long. And that's a lot of issues with a lot of AEW pay-per-views. They're just way too friggin' long. And you know what? I respect the fact that AEW will put every championship on the line on their pay-per-views, which I think that should be the mainstay. When you have a pay-per-view, you need to have every championship on the line. But you had too many squash matches. This isn't even counting the controversy that happened after All Out. With Brawl Out with the Young Bucks and CM Punk. The memes were great about that. Punk just going in on Colt Cabana and just trashing the Elite and basically just trash the entire roster when he says he works with fucking children. A correction, I believe the quote was, "I'm old, I'm tired, I'm fucking hurt," or it's, "I'm old, I'm hurt, I'm fucking tired, and I work with fucking children." And you should not have had Punk in that media scrum right after his match. The adrenaline's pumping. He's injured. He was tired. You should have had him talk at the end of the night instead of right at the beginning, because it just made the whole thing. But All Out, it was just okay. Like that's not even counting the, what do you call there? The media scrum stuff. Like it just felt okay. Like it was just so much, and like I said, AEW pay-per-views are just too long. If you include that 0-hour buying and everything, like All Out 2022 was just okay. There was some great matches, without a doubt, but it was just like I look at it and I'm like, way too many squash matches. Just why bother having a lot of those matches on the card if they're just going to be like 20 seconds long, or that's how long the Christian Cage and Jungle Boy thing was. But All Out, I'm sorry. It was just okay. It's probably AEW's worst show of the year. But it was still okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't awful. It was okay. It's definitely go out to see the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory. That match was phenomenal. The crowd was so behind that. Then again, I think Moxley and Punk put on an okay match. Injuries aside. Of course, the inaugural 6-man titles was a great match. Like I said, there was some great wrestling on there, but the show just did not feel like an AEW show. I don't know why. But it's like what one person said. You look at that and you're like, okay, it's okay. And then everything was lovely once again. Full Gear 2022. This might be some recency bias, but Full Gear 2022 just happened on November 19th. Oh my God, it's been a month now as of this recording. 13 matches, including 3 on the pre-show. So 10 matches. On the pre-show, we had a 10-man tag, the Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta, with Orange Cassidy and Rocky Romero and Dan Helsing versus The Factory. It was okay. Ricky Starks defeated Brian Cage for the AEW Championship Eliminator Tournament semifinals because I think Ricky was injured, and they put this on the pre-show to have Ricky win the whole tournament altogether, I believe. Eddie Kingston against Jun Akiyami. Was that the hard-hitting one too? Well, Eddie Kingston's just phenomenal. Eddie Kingston is just great. Jungle Boy Jack Perry with a new name, full name now. Luchasaurus in a cage match. Defeated Luchasaurus. This match was amazing. This was the perfect like David versus Goliath match. Death Triangle versus the Elite. It was match 1 of their best of 7 series for the. This is the return of the Elite. I'm sad that they didn't come out kicking a door down with the rumors about Brawl Out. Jade Cargill with the baddies. Oh, it was just for the TBS Championship. Defeated Nyla Rose. This was Nyla Rose stole the championship and called herself the champion. This was fun, but it was a short match, but still. And then Fatal 4-Way match for the Ring of Honor World Championship. Chris Jericho versus Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, Sammy Guevara. Great match. The only issue I have with this is that Ring of Honor had a pay-per-view a month later. Why would you have your Ring of Honor Championship be defended on this show when you could have just waited a month? But I get it. Jericho has been on every AEW pay-per-view. Whatever. An emotional match of the night. Saraya making her first ring match in 5 years or something. Defeating Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. This would have been probably if Britt won. Probably would have been like her career-defying thing, and you basically just retire her, have her go in the Hall of Fame. But I'm glad Saraya won. It was very emotional, very nice. 3-way championship for the AEW TNT Championship. Big 3 meaty men. Samoa Joe defeated the champion Warlord and Powerhouse Hobbs by technical submission. I believe Samoa Joe made Hobbs pass out. This match was a lot of fun. Warlord's title reign has been lackluster. So far, Joe's title reign's been a little lackluster too, even though we're only a month into it. Sting and Darby Allin in a no disqualification tag team match against Team TNA. Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. My God, is it 2002 again? Jamie Hayter, right call, defeated Tony Storm. Should have won it at the previous pay-per-view, but now, sadly, this is when they stripped the title from Thunder Rosa, and Tony Storm was acknowledged as a former women's champion. Sadly, she now has the shortest women's championship title reign at 77 days. I think it's 77 days. And then another great match between these two. They had 3 great matches. The Acclaimed beat Swerve in Our Glory for the tag titles at Grand Slam. Then they had their final rematch so far for the AEW Championship, Tag Team Championship again. Another amazing match. And then the crowning moment, MJF cashes in his poker chip to defeat Jon Moxley with the help of William Regal, throwing in the brass knucks, costing Mox because Regal says you can't win with the diamond, you have to reach for that brass ring to win. It's really cool, really great. Everything was lovely once again. AEW Full Gear, if you count storylines and whatnot. Bam. It was the best. So, sadly, like I said, AEW only had 5 pay-per-views this year. If you include Ring of Honor, technically they only had 2 that was booked under Tony Khan, but 4 of them. If you want me to go down Ring of Honor real quick. Oh crap, what was there? There was Supercard of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, Final Battle, and there was one more. If there's anything you want to check out from Ring of Honor, it's definitely check out the FTR and Briscoes 3-match, technically 4 because they had a 2 out of 3 falls one. Their 3-match rivalry. It's probably like Tag Team Rivalry of the Year. Like that match, those matches were just great. They were amazing. Like it's crazy how good chemistry they have. But then again, FTR is amazing, and you know it's sad that AEW barely books them, and they just had a really great match with the Acclaim on Dynamite for the tag championship, which that's what I like that AEW does. Sometimes they'll make their Dynamites feel like big and grand, like you got Winters coming, Quake by the Lake. They're about to have Holiday Bash. What else is there? Blood and Guts, of course. But yeah, that's my opinion about AEW's pay-per-views this year. All Out just being okay. It's probably the weakest show out of all of them. Forbidden Door being the best, but then again, it was a supercard show, so it's kind of cheating, but still, it has AEW in the name. Some things I did not like about AEW this year. As much as I like the Jericho Appreciation Society and the Blackpool Combat Club, that feud should have ended at Blood and Guts. As of this recording, it's still kind of going on. They said it would end at Ring of Honor, what was it, Final Battle? Nope. Still going. Still going. The booking of the women's division is still pretty bad. It's like you have the first hour of Dynamite, then it's like, and from like 9 to 9:30 they get all their women's stuff in, and then from like 9:30 to 10 it's like the rest of Dynamite, or it's like not even, it's like from 9 to like 9:20 they get all their women's stuff. Like the way they run AEW shows, if you watch it, you'll just see like at a certain point they're like, oh, we got to get all that women's stuff in right now. Okay, back to the men. Their pay-per-views, look, I get it. There's a lot of great matches on these shows. A lot of them are consistently good. A lot of them are great, but their shows are just too long. Okay, a lot of their pay-per-views, they start where I am at 8 o'clock at night, and they get over at like 1 a.m. in the morning, sometimes 12 a.m. if I'm lucky. And half the time I can't even watch them all the way through, and I have to watch them the next day and try to avoid spoilers because I work on the weekends. And I just wish they would just cut down on some matches. Like I said, Darby Allin and Kyle O'Reilly did not need to be on the card, even though it's a hidden gem. Did not need to be on the card. Apparently AEW doesn't care about their rankings anymore, because last time I checked, their rankings have been updated since August 31st, 2022. That is almost 4 months later. They have not updated that. But I didn't mind the Ring of Honor stuff. The only one I did mind was at Full Gear, the Fatal 4-Way, because it's like you had a Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up the following month. Jericho's Ring of Honor run was amazing. It was like, what, 3 months long? It was great. Him challenging everybody, Dalton Castle, Colt Cabana. It's great, amazing. I loved it. And I didn't mind too much Ring of Honor stuff, but like I said, that was just a little irritating. I was like, why is this Ring of Honor title being defended at an AEW pay-per-view when you have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up? I don't understand why, because, you know, Jericho's Jericho. He's been on every pay-per-view since the beginning of AEW, I believe. I guess I'll talk about my opinions about Brawl Out. I get it, Punk was frustrated, but you just do not say that. It seems like he set it up. And I guess the whole beatdown, it just reminded me of Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, when, what do you call it there, Dr. Evil is on Jerry Springer. There's a chair thrown, and you hear Dr. Evil, he's biting me! That's all we can picture. And the Elite came back, which is probably the smart choice on Tony Khan's part, because WWE, even though they said he's open to do business with him, WWE will probably not take CM Punk back. He's just too controversial, too whatever. But if he sided with CM Punk, WWE would right off the bat try to go for Kenny and the Young Bucks, because it's like, dude, yeah, we'll take you guys. And just imagine that. If the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega came out on TV one day on WWE and saying, wow, look at that, the landscape has changed. That's basically four, if you count Cody, four your founding members of AEW just jumped ship to WWE. But yeah, Tony Khan should have just definitely cut off Punk. Should have just stepped in, but instead, if you watch him, it's hilarious. He at the end of his interview, he says, "I'm not gonna sit back and take this fucking shit. I'm not." He basically just sat back and took all of Punk's fucking shit, just shitting on his company, the people he works with, and everything. But if it's true that Punk is done with AEW, it's kind of sad. But also, I don't think he might be. They keep referencing it. So if Punk was smart, they would try to make money off of this. But also, if Tony Khan was smart, he would only have him be like, okay, you're gonna do one match against maybe Kenny against the Bucks, or just a match with all of them, and then that's it. You're done with my company. But I think they're keeping him on contract, and they're still paying him because he's still on the roster page. Which, by the way, AEW takes forever to update their roster page too. But yeah, AEW has had a wacky 2022. One of your EVPs jumped ship over to WWE. But it wasn't a terrible year for AEW. It was probably, in my opinion, maybe their weakest year, but it was still a good year. Like, it was still a really good year. You had like Wheeler Yuta just becoming a star, Ricky Starks becoming a star. Who else? Orange Cassidy again. He's now the All Atlantic champion. Thank God. You need to get rid of Rampage, or you should have just made Rampage Ring of Honor Rampage. Have all the Ring of Honor stuff on Rampage, because Rampage is just bad. It's at a terrible time slot. Again, I mentioned I work the weekend, so I can't stay up at 11 o'clock at night and get up for 4 a.m. in the morning when I have to go in. But yeah, AEW's a great year. Sadly, in my opinion, their best pay-per-view of the year does not match up to WWE's best pay-per-view of the year. But that's like comparing apples to oranges. As many people said, like what you like. If you like AEW more, that's great. I applaud you. If you like WWE more, that's great. I like both of them. There's some things about both of them I like. There's some wrestlers I like. I totally forgot to mention about the whole Bray Wyatt thing in WWE in the last video. But I do love AEW. And I thought it had a really great year. If you notice, in my opinion, no pay-per-view was in the or garbage category, because they only had 5 shows. And WWE had, what was it? I put like 3 in the category because they were just So, again, if you enjoy these videos, let me know. I'll try to make a tier list of many, many other things. This was all just off the cuff too. I was just looking at my phone, looking at the results and everything, and trying to remember what I saw, because 12 months is a long time, people. I can't even remember what I ate for breakfast this morning. And I'm only 35 years old. My name is Clinkeroith. I thank you all so much for watching. And stay tuned for some more stuff. And again, if you like these tier list stuff, let me know and I'll try to make some more.